Problem number 4 deals with writing numbers in the order from least to greatest. So just to note, our least is going to be on the left. So the smaller numbers are going to be on the left. And the greatest or the larger numbers are going to be on the right. So let us begin. I'm going to start with looking at the smaller numbers. And I know they are the smallest ones because they are negative. So I know they are going to be less than 0 and less than all my positive options. So the thing here, though, is you have to decide which one is smaller than the other. The best way to compare fractions is to first get a common denominator between the two of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 5 halves and I am going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2 so that I can get a common denominator of 4 between both of the fractions that have negative signs in them. When I do that, I get that my negative 5 halves is actually equal to negative 10 over 4, or negative 10 fourths. So now I can actually directly compare these two because they have the same bottom number. So which one is smaller, the negative 10 or the negative 3? That would be the negative 10. So because this negative 10 is smaller than that negative 3, it is going to be my smallest number, my least number. So I will put it on the very far left of my line. However, I am not going to write the negative 10 fourths. I have to write the original fraction in the list. So my least number, my smallest number, is going to be at negative 5 over 2. Okay, now that we've done that, we know that the one right next to the 5 halves is going to be our negative 3 fourths, because that is the only other negative fraction that is there. We know negatives are smaller than 0 and smaller than the positives. So between my negatives and my positives is going to be 0, because if you think about it on a number line, you have 0, you have all your positive numbers, and then you have all your negative numbers. So when I am switching from the negative numbers to the positive numbers, I know that I'm going to have to go past 0 first. So that is why my 0 is going to be in the middle here. And now I'm going to look at my positive numbers. So again, it is most useful when comparing fractions to get a common denominator. In this case, there's nothing I can multiply this 3 by to get 5, so I am going to actually just multiply them by each other. So with this 1/3, I am going to multiply by 5 and 5. And then with the 4/5, I'm going to multiply by 3 and 3. When I do that, up here I get a 15 on the bottom and a 5 on the top. And down here I get a 15 on the bottom and a 12 on the top. So now that I have a common denominator here, I can actually compare the two top numbers. So which one of those fractions is going to be larger? Which top number is larger? Is it going to be the 5 or the 12? If you guessed 12, you are correct. The 12 is larger than the 5, so this fraction right here is going to be my largest fraction. So that is the one that goes on the very far right, because again, I am graphing the greatest on the right. So, but again, I am not going to be to write the 12 over 15. I have to write the original fraction that is in the list. So let me make some room here. When I am writing these, I figured out that my 4/5 is going to be my largest fraction. So that means the only other fraction that I have left to place goes right there, and that is my 1/3. So here is my final product. I have my numbers listed from smallest to largest or from least to greatest. I did that by finding common denominators and comparing the fractions, and then writing them in the order that they normally appear on a number line.